The story begins with a man named Eddie Palmer coming back to his small hometown in Louisiana after spending 12 years in prison. When he arrives, his grandmother Vivian welcomes him warmly with a big hug. She is truly happy to see him home again. Shortly after, Eddie goes into his old bedroom. It looks exactly the same as he remembers. When they get home, Vivian kindly gives Sam something to eat, showing she truly cares about him. Even though Eddie is out of prison, he still feels trapped in the same old habits. The next morning, Vivian gives him a shopping list and some money, but Eddie feels ashamed taking it from her. As Eddie heads out, he sees Shelly driving away with her boyfriend. At the grocery store, he notices a "Help Wanted" sign. But when he asks about it, he learns the job has already been filled. Eddie believes they just don't want to hire someone with a criminal record. Eddie senses something is wrong. When he checks, he finds that Vivian has passed away peacefully in her sleep. Vivian's funeral takes place soon after. Many people from the town come to mourn her. For Eddie and Sam, her death leaves a huge emptiness. At work, Eddie's boss tells him to take the next day off to grieve. At home, Sam sits quietly, going through Vivian's makeup bag, missing her deeply. Eddie, feeling overwhelmed, goes to the bar that night to drink. Coming home late, Eddie finds Sam asleep on the couch. The next morning, Eddie wakes him and tells him to pack his things. Confused and scared, Sam follows Eddie to the police station. Eddie explains to his friend Coles that Shelly has been missing for 2 weeks and cannot be reached. Coles tells Eddie that Child Protective Services will take Sam and put him in an orphanage. As Eddie leaves the station, he sees Sam watching him through the window, looking heartbroken. Eddie cannot leave him behind. He changes his mind and brings Sam back home. Sometimes doing the right thing means breaking the rules. From that moment, Eddie decides to take responsibility for Sam. Among the letters, they find one from a lawyer asking Eddie to contact him about Vivian's will. It turns out that Vivian left her house and all her belongings to the church. This creates a new obstacle for Eddie, increasing his uncertainty about the future. Well, according to your grandmother's will, her house and land are to be put up for sale, and the money is going to be donated to the Saints of Christ Church. Eddie is shocked by this news. After the house is sold, he will only have 30 days to move out. That evening, Maggie invites Eddie and Sam over for dinner. Sam looks cheerful and enjoys eating sweets. Gathering her courage, Maggie asks Eddie about his time in prison. It is very hard for Eddie to talk about it, but he finds the strength to share. He explains that he used to be a star player on his university's football team. After a serious injury, doctors told him he could never play again. Eddie fell into deep depression, returned home, and started living irresponsibly. There was a boy in his group who often bragged that his father kept lots of money in a safe. One day, they decided to rob the house, but the father came home early. In a panic, Eddie attacked him, making the worst mistake of his life. Later that night, Sam falls asleep, and Maggie suggests Eddie spend the night at her place. Suddenly, Sam runs inside crying. Darryl had heard, furious. Eddie rushes out to find Darryl. Although Maggie tries to stop him, Eddie cannot hold back. He finds Darryl at a bar, and when Darryl calls Sam abnormal, Eddie attacks him. Eddie's violent reaction shows how his old anger still lingers beneath the surface. Other men have to pull Eddie away. Eddie also threatens Coles, the police officer who stood by and did nothing for the little boy. Child Protective Services has taken Sam away. Shelly cries and explains what happened. Eddie rushes to the station, where an officer tells him that a court hearing will decide if Sam returns to Shelly or goes to an orphanage. In the evening, Eddie visits Shelly's trailer and begs her to give custody to it. At the hearing, the judge says he sees that Eddie has changed, but Eddie needs stable housing and must finish his probation first before applying for custody. Tearfully, Eddie says he just wants to care for Sam, because he knows what it feels like to be abandoned. Still, the judge dismisses his request. My decision is that the boy will remain under the care of the state. Suddenly, Shelly bursts into the courtroom, begging the judge to give her back her son. She insists that Sam is a special boy who struggles with making friends and needs his mother. Feeling sympathy, the judge rules in Shelly's favor. Every day afterward, Eddie hears Shelly and Jerry arguing. When Eddie realizes Shelly is falling back into her bad ways, he makes a bold decision. He takes Sam and drives far away. At a gas station, Eddie calls Maggie and learns that Shelley has reported him to the police. Now a fugitive, Eddie promises Sam that everything will be okay. Eventually, Eddie turns himself in. Eddie's decision to surrender shows his deep understanding of right and wrong now. Officer Coles, understanding the situation, arranges for Sam to stay with Maggie for now. Eddie is arrested. Alright, Eddie. In jail again, Eddie sits feeling hopeless. But soon, Coles brings good news. Shelley changes her statement and admits she asked Eddie to take Sam to get food. Because of this, all charges against Eddie are dropped. Full of new hope, Eddie goes straight to Maggie, who is caring for Sam. Soon after, Shelley shows up, but Sam refuses to speak to her. Realizing she has failed her son, Shelley makes the hard decision to give full custody to Eddie. Even though she truly loves Sam, she knows he will have a better life with Eddie. By the end, mother and son share a tearful goodbye. Now, Eddie can finally become Sam's real father. Things start to look brighter for them. Eddie's job is going well, and he and Sam are preparing to move out of Vivian's house. As the film comes to a close, one day they find a letter in the mailbox. It is from the Fairy Princess show. I've never got mail before. Open it, Zoot says. Just set me free. Sam's face lights up with joy. Together, they step into a brand new chapter of their life.